Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Is this on? Yes. My name is Dede Wilsey. I'm president of Fine Arts Museums. I'd like to remind you that you're in one now. This is the DeYoung. We have another beautiful museum, the Legion of Honor, over in Lincoln Park. I always like to give a plug to the other sister museum wherever we are. But today we are in the most exciting place in San Francisco, in my opinion. And I have been waiting for this moment for about 18 months since we planned this show, and probably all my life, because there's nothing I like better than French anything. I was thinking to myself this morning, I even had a French poodle when I was a young girl. And I was brought up in Europe and loved everything that looked French, acted French, spoke French, or tasted French. And so to come here and have this collection today is just a dream come true. And I want to thank Guy Cocheval, who made this possible by closing part of the Musée d'Orsay. And it's so fortuitous for us that he decided to do that, because obviously we wouldn't have these masterpieces if they were still hanging there. We feel we've done a really good job of it, and I hope you will agree with us. But we will have the second part of this collection, as you know, in September, and that will be another great treat, and we will invite you back at that time. But today is our great pleasure to introduce the beginning of Impressionism, and you will see it in a few minutes. But right this moment, it is my great pleasure to introduce the mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, a great friend of the Fine Arts Museums as well, Gavin Newsom.
And the person that made you late, all of you, or whatever your respective events were, and wherever you're off to next. So thank you all very much, and my apologies for being late. It was all relevant because we were down at City Hall getting stuck on the last 24 hours of budget debate as we get our budget to the printer this weekend. All of this, Guy, means nothing to you. So God bless you for allowing me to indulge with that. But nonetheless, I do apologize, and want to thank everybody for being here. I want to congratulate Dede and John on yet another grand accomplishment for this extraordinary museum and our fine arts museums. It seems like every few months we're not only in this room, but we're celebrating another milestone for the fine arts museums in San Francisco. Really, the promise of this renovation is being exercised. It's been manifested. There was so much hope and expectation that Dede and her team and the board would come together and raise the requisite amount of money and get world-class architects like Herzog and de Morin here and do something that was iconic and something that would generate worldwide praise and attention. It certainly has done that. We would not be here had it not been for their stewardship and their leadership, and as Dede was just saying, their passion. And that passion, as they say in life, persuades. And persuaded Guy and others that San Francisco is the place to allow for this arguably once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see what some of us have been privileged to see when we head over to our sister city in Paris. And I had the privilege about a year and a half ago celebrating our sister city relationship, and went up, as John likes to say, as so many of the tourists like myself do, to the third floor first at the Musée d'Orsay, because that's where so many of the sort of more iconic and spectacular, at least for the layperson, art is. For the sophisticates, it's of course everywhere in the museum as it transcends some of the more familiar works of art. But nonetheless, we are blessed that they will be celebrating the 25th anniversary of that remarkable and unique museum. And if you've never been, I mean, I'm sure you will say this, it really is a spectacular museum. It's unlike any other, an old train station that's been transformed. But now, obviously, to celebrate its quarter of a century, they're going to bring it up to the next level. And because of that renovation, because of that work, they had to store some of their art. And rather than store it in a basement somewhere to collect dust, they've allowed it to be stored in a few selected cities. And San Francisco is one of just a few of those select cities. But no city is the beneficiary of getting the second exhibit, which we will be having, well, I imagine it's already arrived, it's probably somewhere, but that will be curated and will be put on display in a few months. So we get something no other city, Tokyo, Madrid, even Nashville. I saw Nashville, fabulous. That Nashville's getting a portion of this. We'll get something that no other city has received, and that truly is special. And so I'm here just to, again, thank them, all three of you, for your incredible generosity. You didn't need to do this because we could just survive the Fine Arts Museum doing what we've done and continue to see those numbers increase. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, in spite of a recession, in spite of all the macroeconomic challenges around the globe, San Francisco's Fine Arts Museum, San Francisco's museums generally, including the Asian art, etc. We had a new study just came out, showed year-to-year growth, February to February, 09 to 010, of 42%, which is rather extraordinary, and I just deserves a round of applause. That's something wonderful. And now, here we're adding to that, and you can imagine what we'll experience year to year, February 2010 to February 2011, with what we have in store for our visitors starting this Saturday with this remarkable display of some of the most familiar and spectacular art that has ever been created. And we are indeed great beneficiaries of that. So thank you all for your interest. Your job now is to tell everyone you know about this exhibition. Get them here, not just people from the city, friends and family, but folks all over the country that should be descending upon our city for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Promote it, come back. Don't just come back once, because you'll never fully appreciate what you've seen. You need to come back multiple times, and you'll rediscover, as I'm sure Guy has rediscovered over the course of decades of hard work, that the art offers something different every single day, a new insight every single day, and that's why we love artistic expression. It challenges us, it enlivens our senses, distills sensibilities that we didn't even know we had. And so I'm very grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful the press is going to be promoting this heavily without any burden of financial cost to the taxpayers of San Francisco. And we welcome you. Thank you all very much.
Well, good morning, everyone. For those of you I did not have the pleasure to meet, I'm John Buchanan, the very proud director of the Fine Arts Museums of San Francisco. And Mayor Newsom, thank you for taking your time to share your perspective on museums, art, and culture. We are so proud to be museums of the city of San Francisco. It wields great clout throughout the world as we are negotiating and talking to our colleagues. San Francisco is a very interesting venue for other institutions really around the world. And we think that since San Francisco, in fact, is the catbird seat of the West Coast and maybe even the United States, that it's a wonderful venue to share art from other cultures, from other countries, and certainly from other collectors on an international basis. We're also proud to be affiliated with the city of San Francisco, and particularly with you, because you understand the value of art as part of the fabric of a great life in any city, not just for our tourist industry, but also for our high school groups, our elementary students, the families, and every constituency in San Francisco. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a great day for us at the museums, and it's a particularly proud moment for me. If you ask my wife, she would say anything that's made in France, John thinks is perfect. And while that's not quite true, I will tell you that French painting of the 19th century is my métier. I like many different kinds of art, but when you get to the 19th century, it really stimulates me and galvanizes me because, in fact, I find it an incredible phenomena that so many different artists working in so many styles, side by side, sometimes one against the other, sometimes in harmony, all existed in France and in particularly Paris at the middle of the 19th century. And it is the Musée d'Orsay, which is the great repository for much of this great work, bringing together not only the paintings from, as Mayor Newsom said, the third floor of classic Impressionism, but also artists of the salon, naturalist artists, realist artists, American expatriates,